Welcome to the Third Wing Channel, where today we're looking at Nickelodeon and Disney Channel logos from like 2000, 2012, kind of their heyday time, the live action shows, some of my favorite shows growing up. I wanted to give my thoughts on the branding and the logos and how much I like them, basically. Starting off with Drake and Josh. I love the blue and the green, and this is just a classic one for me. I love how in the intro sequences where you see Josh and Drake talking to each other, there's like the blue and green flowing through. I think it's like excellent, good branding. Definitely, I'd say an A for me, if not an S. We'll kind of adjust as we go. Next up, Sunny with a Chance, which is a show I never really watched much. I watched a few episodes. To be honest, I kind of hated it. And I always thought that, like, kind of like Hollywood, oh, get famous kind of branding was a bit cheesy. I'm honestly going to have to put this one in D. Even, I know I didn't like the show, but I also don't like the name Sunny, and it just, I don't like it. That's all there is to it. Next up, we got Zoe 101, which came from a similar time with Drake and Josh. You saw those like light blue and purple colors flowing through all the transitions and all this. And I think it's a effective logo, not as effective as Drake and Josh. I'd probably put Zoe 101 somewhere in B. I think it's elegant enough. So, good. Next up, we got Victorious, which kind of was from a different time period on Nick from Drake and Josh and Zoe 101. It's a little bit more like glamorous and stars and space, and it's I'd say it's about as effective as Zoe 101. I'd even stretch to say it's a little bit more effective. I In the intro sequence, you really see what the inspiration for this the logo was, and then it all comes from that first title sequence that we hear time and time again in the show. So it's good, and it's got the Tori in the middle, pretty excellent. Like I almost want to bump it up to an A, and Drake and Josh up. You know what? Maybe I'll do that. I think this one's done quite well. Next up, we got Sam and Cat, which I never really understood. Why is Sam like gold plated and Cat is neon? I don't think that fits any of their characters, but I kind of like the vibe of it is kind of like a grill on a retro car, and it's okay, but it's nothing special for me. I think I would slap this one in C. Don't love it too much. Next up, we got Austin and Ally, which is a bit of a later show on Disney. Musically based, and the double A's work really well. And having it all gold though seems a little bit lazy. Same with, for example, this Sunny with a Chance logo. I can't put this one. The musical notes in there are nice. I think I'd drop this one in C just for the double A's and stuff like that. But around here. And remember, this is all my personal preference, just what I like, basically. So obviously, you're gonna have different opinions, but let me know what your opinions are in the comments below. Next up, we got Big Time Rush, which always went for this kind of pop arty thing. This was kind of between Victorious and Drake and Josh. They went for this pop, like poster-like look with these big all caps letters and this red and black, which I never saw really meshed into the show, but it was their thing, kind of like PewDiePie's logo now, or his color scheme. But I'd say this one, I dropped in B. I think it was effective enough, but it's nothing special. Never was my favorite. Next up, we got Jessie, where they never really brought in these colors into the show or whatever, but the logo itself is pretty stunning. I have to say, I have to put this in a high A at least. I think I love all the windows and kind of the building, and they even have like a little building for the eye. I think it works out perfectly. You have little details here. Very well done. Next up, we got Hannah Montana, which again is a hit for Disney. I think I almost feel like putting this one. I'm gonna put this one in high A as well. I love how they have the Hannah kind of big and shiny and pop star, and then the Montana like the country girl kind of more a different font, more a bland look, more simple. I think it's excellently done. Conveys the show perfectly. Good logo. Next up, we got Good Luck Charlie, which I'd like to compare to something like Big Time Rush in terms of like how I feel about the logo. It's kind of like got that simple look. There's a change of font there when you write Charlie to kind of signify like a more childish like handwriting because of Charlie. But it's meant to be like a bit of a diary, a video diary to Charlie, so it makes sense. But it's at the same time, it's really nothing special. I think I might bump this down to C. It's just there's I think they incorporated a little bit into the show, but it's just not that special. That's all. Then we got the new reboot or revival iCarly logo, and completely honestly, I think the original iCarly, I'll talk about this one first, is like iconic. It started off the whole eye something, like it was very new for its time, and the whole internet YouTube kind of deal kind of evolved from this. So I think this one is actually excellent. Very well done, and very. I love the colors. The pop, it pops. There's a yellow eye there if you don't see it here, but I'm sure all of you know. And this one is readapted to modern times, and it just doesn't hit the same for me. I'd put this one somewhere with the Zoe 101 logo. Not saying that they didn't do a good job adapting it, but this one just I love it too much. It's good. Next up, we got Kenan and Kel, which definitely was a different vibe on Nickelodeon. It was a long time ago, but I have to say the yellow and black Kenan and Kel double Ks, and just very simple. Like this one, just it feels very. I mean, it's very 90s. It's very that time, but I do like it a lot for some reason. I didn't even watch so much Kenan and Kel, but whenever I did, it was a very fun show. But this logo, something about it, I love the yellow and black. I really like this one. Moving on, Ant Farm. Didn't watch it too much, but simple logo, simple font. A little bit too simple for me. I think I'd drop this one here. I mean, I guess it's doing what it needs to do, but I feel like I would incorporate kind of the idea of the show more where, you know, you have these smart kids. Maybe I'll drop this one in like low C. Ned's Declassified is very different from every other logo here. I think it does an excellent job of capturing the vibe of the show. I'm going to have to put this one up here, I think. I really think that they did a good job with that one. I love the whole like declassified theme that goes through the whole show, so it fits it perfectly. Very well done. Next up, we got Shake It Up, which is kind of like a like looking at Hannah Montana and then looking at this one. It's kind of like this like cheap disco arcade game vibe, which just doesn't do it for me. I don't love it. I'm gonna have to put this one in probably C tier next to Seven Cat or something. Next up, Wizards of Waverly Place, which I think is another hit for Disney in terms of the logo. I love the tiles, which kind of run through the show. They have this kind of like a little bit historical vibe to it. Love the font on Wizards, and Wizards of Waverly Place really does give off that wizardy vibe, you know? I do really like this one a lot. I think this is, I think I'm going to bump down Kenan Kel to a B, and Wizards of Waverly Place can go up in A. Next up, That's So Raven. Very poppy, very good. I feel like before this, we didn't really like this. This is a very different logo from everything here. I think it works very well. I got the big name there. I think that I'd drop this one maybe around here, maybe there. It's effective, but it's nothing special. The color scheme's pretty good. Next up, we got The Amanda Show, which is a show I've actually never watched. I've heard so much about it. But I love this logo. I think it deserves to be up here with Hannah Montana and Jessie. I think it for what it was kind of like the Saturday Night Live for kids. I think it does a great job. I really like the logo. And last, we have the two kind of Sweet Lives logos with the kind of like a hotel vibe. I mean, they could have done better with this like post-it or like taped on note thing here, but the Sweet Life with the with the two like nails in it or screws, I think it's effective. I did compare it to something like Kenan and Kel. And now looking back at this, I think I'd like to bump up the Zoe 101. I think it was doing a lot for its time. It was kind of modern. But yeah, I think this is about how I feel. If I were to make any changes, maybe I'd bump this. Maybe deserves to be in D as well. Like these two are really weak. Everything here is not great. But yeah, I think maybe I'll bump up Hannah Montana to an S as well. Gives Disney some representation in the S tier. That is the best Disney one, I think. Jessie, maybe I put Jessie in top of A as well. I think I'm actually happy with this now, though. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you want to see more tier lists. I haven't done this one of these in a long time. I wanted to do one, and yeah, let me know what your favorite logo, what kind of like branding vibe or the colors, what you like. So yeah, this has been the Third Wing Channel. I'll see you guys soon for another video, and have a good weekend.